My wife spent our life savings on her secret boyfriend. You'll never afford a lawyer, she laughed. I smiled and made one call. Next day, her lover was in handcuffs and she was begging to come home. 34 males, still can't believe I'm typing this. 3 months ago, I thought I had a happy marriage with my wife of 8 years. Now I'm living in a new apartment, rebuilding my life, and trying to make sense of the absolute shit show my wife turned our marriage into. Some backstory. My wife and I met at a friend's wedding where I was bartending. I'm a construction foreman now, but back then, I was working multiple jobs to put myself through trade school. She was this stunning woman who kept coming back for just one more drink and slipping me her number. We hit it off immediately. Fast forward 8 years, and we had what I thought was a solid life together. We'd saved up almost $95,000 for a down payment on our dream house. We were supposed to start looking at properties next month. Yeah. It all blew up 3 months ago when I came home early from a job site. The client had changed their mind about some details, so I had to reschedule the crew for the next day. I decided to surprise my wife by taking her out to lunch. The surprise was on me. I pulled into our driveway and saw an unfamiliar Audi parked there. Weird, but whatever. Maybe a friend was visiting. I walked in through the garage entrance and heard music playing upstairs. As I got closer to our bedroom, I heard, well, you know exactly what I heard. I stood frozen outside our bedroom door listening to my wife having sex with someone who definitely wasn't me. I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. Part of me wanted to burst in there and catch them red-handed. Another part wanted to just silently leave and pretend this wasn't happening. I went with option 1. I pushed open the door and there was my wife with some guy I'd never seen before. Tall, pretty boy type with an expensive watch and a shocked expression. For a few seconds nobody said anything. Then my wife scrambled to cover herself and started yelling at me for not being at work and invading her privacy. Like I was the one who fucked up here. Pretty boy grabbed his clothes and tried to slip past me. I blocked the doorway and asked who the hell he was. My wife jumped in. That's Derek. He's my personal trainer. Since when do you have a personal trainer? 3 months. I've been trying to get in shape. And that includes fucking him in our bed. Derek tried to push past me again, mumbling apologies. I grabbed his arm and told him to sit his ass down. Surprisingly, he did. What followed was the most surreal conversation of my life. My wife admitted she'd been seeing Derek for months. He worked as a trainer at the fancy gym downtown where all the rich people go. The same gym where she had been working part-time at the juice bar for extra cash. Something she told me was just to get out of the house more. The gym charges $200 just for a consultation. I turned to Derek. You always sleep with your clients. He stared at the floor. She told me you guys were separated. Classic. I told him to get the hell out of my house and never contact my wife again. Once he was gone, my wife switched from defensive to crying. The tears, the I made a mistake, the I didn't mean anything, the whole cheats playbook. I wasn't having it. I packed the bag and went to my brother's place. I needed space to think. Over the next few days, I tried wrapping my head around what happened. My wife kept calling and texting, alternating between begging for forgiveness and accusing me of throwing away 8 years over one mistake. 1 week after D-Day, I met with my wife at a coffee shop to talk things through. That's when I told her I wanted a divorce. She laughed, actually fucking laughed. Fine, she said. But you should know I've been planning for this possibility. That's when she dropped the bomb. She'd emptied our joint savings account, all $95,000 gone. Derek and I have been investing it, she said with this smug smile. Real estate mostly. He's really good with money. I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. That was 8 years of savings. Every bonus, every bit of overtime, every penny we put aside for our future home. That's theft, I said. I earned more than half that money. She shrugged. Prove it. We're married. It's community property. I'll get a lawyer, I said. That's when she laughed again. With what money? You'll never afford a lawyer. Derek's cousin is an attorney, and he's already advised me on everything. By the time you save up enough for legal fees, the money will be so tied up you'll never see it again. I sat there, stunned. The woman I had loved and trusted for 8 years was now openly bragging about stealing our life savings and giving it to her affair partner. Derek's helping me find an apartment, she continued. I'll be moving out this weekend. You can keep the furniture. Like she was doing me some huge favor. I didn't say anything else. I just got up and left. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about all those years of hard work, of turning down vacations and nights out with friends so we could save. And now it was all gone. But then I remembered something important. 3 years ago, my wife's brother got into some legal trouble. Nothing major, but he needed a good attorney. My old high school buddy, Tom, had become a successful lawyer with a practice that handled both criminal defense and fraud cases. I'd called in a favor, and Tom had represented her brother at a reduced rate. They'd stayed in touch after that. In fact, I remembered my wife telling me that Tom had helped her brother with some investment opportunities last year. I didn't think much of it at the time. I picked up my phone and called Tom. It was 11 p.m., but he answered. Hey, man. Sorry to call so late, but I need your help, I said, and explained the situation. There was a long pause on the other end. Then Tom said, your wife's boyfriend is Derek Watkins. Yeah. You know him. Oh, buddy. Do I know him? Derek Watkins has been on our radar for months. He's not a real estate investor. He's running a confidence scheme targeting wealthy women at that gym. Gets them to invest in fake property deals. He was convicted of similar scams in Arizona, but moved here after serving a short sentence. He's currently on probation, but the local authorities didn't know about his past when he moved here until we started investigating him. I felt a rush of something between vindication and horror. So the money's gone. Maybe not, Tom said. We've been building a case. 3 other victims have come forward, but they've been reluctant to press charges because they're embarrassed. If your wife will testify, she won't, I said. She thinks the sun shines out of this guy's ass. Then we'll have to do this the hard way. Can you come to my office first thing tomorrow? The next morning, Tom introduced me to his partner, a former financial crimes detective. They explained that Derek had been running this scam for at least 2 years. He would target women at the gym, usually married ones with access to joint funds, seduce them, then convince them to invest in properties that didn't exist. We need to move fast before he transfers the money offshore, Tom's partner said. Your wife may have been a willing participant in giving him the money, but she's still a victim of fraud. They had me sign some papers, make a formal statement, and provide all the documentation I had about our savings account. By noon, they were requesting emergency court orders to freeze assets connected to Derek. By 3 p.m., they had them. By 7 p.m., Derek was in handcuffs. Turns out, Derek had been on probation for his previous fraud conviction from Arizona. The moment he took our money under false pretenses, he violated that probation. The police picked him up at a restaurant where he was having dinner with, surprise, another married woman from the gym. I was at my brother's place when my phone exploded with texts from my wife. What did you do? Why is Derek being arrested? Answer your phone. Excuse me. I didn't respond. Instead, I forwarded everything to Tom. The next morning, my wife showed up at my brother's house. Her eyes were puffy and red. Gone was the smug, confident woman from the coffee shop. Derek's in jail, she said, when I opened the door. They're saying he was scamming women. That the investments weren't real. I just nodded. Did you know? She asked. I made one phone call, I said. To the right person. She started crying. I'm sorry. I didn't know. He seemed so legitimate. He showed me property listings, contracts, everything. And you believed him because you wanted to. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. The police said they might be able to recover some of the money. Not all of it, but some. Good, I said. Can I come home? She asked in a small voice. I almost laughed. After everything, the affair, stealing our savings, the smugness about me not being able to afford a lawyer, she thought a few tears would fix it. No, I said. You can't. But I made a mistake. I was stupid. I got coned. You made several mistakes, I corrected her. Cheating on me was a choice. Emptying our account was a choice. Taunting me about it was a choice. She tried to push past me into the house. My brother appeared behind me, arms crossed. He never liked my wife much, and right now, his expression made that very clear. "You need to leave," I said. "My lawyer will contact you about the divorce proceedings." "Your lawyer? You said you couldn't afford." "Tom's representing me, and his firm has excellent family law attorneys. Turns out they really don't like guys who scam married women. Or the women who help them." Her face fell. "You're saying I helped him scam other women? Didn't you? Working at the juice bar, pointing out which rich wives looked unhappy in their marriages. The police have statements from the other victims." She went pale. I hadn't actually known for sure until that moment, but her reaction confirmed it. Over the next few weeks, the full extent of Derek's operation came to light. He had scanned at least 12 women out of nearly $500,000 combined. My wife was actually one of his bigger scores, but she had also helped him identify potential targets at the gym. The police recovered about $40,000 of our money. The rest had been spent on Derek's lavish lifestyle, the Audi, expensive watches, fancy restaurants where he wined and dined his next victims. Tom's firm handled my divorce expertly. Since we had clear evidence that my wife had transferred the money to Derek during an affair, the judge had no sympathy for her. She was ordered to pay me back my full share of the savings from any future earnings. She tried to argue that she was a victim too, but the judge pointed out that she had willingly participated in emptying the account without my knowledge or consent, which constituted financial infidelity. Derek ended up pleading guilty to multiple counts of fraud and violating his probation. He's currently serving a 5-year sentence. As for my wife, last I heard, she had to move back in with her parents. The fancy gym fired her from her part-time job at their juice bar once they found out she had been complicit in Derek's schemes. That discovery hurt almost as much as the affair itself. It's been 3 months since the day I came home early. I'm still working as a construction foreman, slowly rebuilding my savings. Tom introduced me to a financial advisor who's helping me create a more secure plan for the future, one where no one but me has access to my money. I've had a few dates here and there, but I'm in no rush to get serious with anyone. Trust doesn't come easy anymore. Sometimes I think about how confident my wife was when she said, "You'll never afford a lawyer." She thought she had it all figured out. She thought I was powerless. But she forgot something important. It's not about how much money you have. It's about who you know and who knows you. I spent my life building honest relationships with good people. She spent our marriage and our savings on lies. In the end, all it took was one phone call to bring it all crashing down.